Well, hello everybody, this is R from L47. Sorry I've been away for a week or so. I had a tooth go bad on me and it was no fun. So anyway, got that puppy taken care of, and now I'm back to talk about the weather, space weather, and what have you. Anyway, right now what you're looking at is the water vapor satellite, which, as I've said before, I like to look at because it's much easier to pick out circulations in the cloud systems, because we're looking at the actual water vapor and not necessarily the cloud itself. Which cloud is water vapor, but we get to see more with this. Of course, everyone's attention is this little almost outflow storm system that has now made it on land to northern Florida. If this sucker had hung out here and not been driven down by these winds, we could have had us a little tropical stuff here. Now, when it comes on into the Gulf, we might need to keep an eye on it over the next few days and see what happens. There is some interaction coming off over here, and which is called a tutlow, and they may interact with each other, and if anything, just really kind of throw humidity more up into my area. This little puppy here is a decent upper level storm, and it's going to drag the potential for some severe weather all up and down the northeast coast today. So there actually is a slight risk of severe weather up there. I'll show you that here in a minute. Another large trough coming in on the west coast, not moving very fast. We've got ridging over here. It's almost like an omega block where things happen. They ride in this way, up and over, and then this even bends back and then out. So it's an omega block. It's almost kind of like a Rex block type. Anyway, just thought I'd show you that because that's interesting, and because everybody loves seeing things that just don't look normal here. Everything else it's starting to look like we're transferring or beginning the transition into a summertime pattern, which I'm not looking forward to here in North Texas. But you know, what are you gonna do? Here's a quick look at the day one convective outlook. Again, the slight risk for some severe thunderstorms go from the Carolinas all the way up to Maine. So again, the big city areas along the east coast there are going to be in line for some pretty good thunderstorms today. Again, that's a slight risk for severe weather there. The green outline is general thunderstorm activity. This, of course, with the little non-tropical, semi-tropical low that's tracking quickly into the Gulf. Another area of potential severe weather will be in the front range of the Rockies today, and that will be due to that next system you saw, as I showed how it dips down like this. This is right on the edge of that, and there's going to be the potential for some slight risk. These could probably be hailers, and probably hail and high wind is mainly going to be the issues here. So again, a couple of areas of potential severe weather today on the map. Here's a look at the induction magnetometer from the Gacona, Alaska HAARP facility. It is showing that we've had some on and off activity again, kind of some spikes across the spectrum early in this graph. Some pretty good activity that started yesterday afternoon into evening into early this morning, and then kind of has dropped off again, which that was some pretty interesting curves there. Again, it tends to undulate in this area a lot of times at that one line that seems to travel in the 3 hertz range. The ever-present 1.75 seems to be there, and it seems like it's coming back too. So again, HAARP seems to be active. Now, all day yesterday I couldn't pull up HAARP, so I don't know what the deal was, but their page was either not responding or moving terribly slow. So again, induction magnetometer showing some bright banding early in this universal day, and kind of dropping off here in the last 4 or 5 hours, and it looks like it may be on the way to picking up. This is a look at the X-ray flux from the GOES satellite, and this is what I use to detect solar flares. We did have a pretty good impulsive low-class C flare, but it was enough to cause a little bit of probably high-latitude radio blackouts for a little while. Again, not a large one, but what's considered impulsive here, and then kind of long duration. So we could see a little bit of radio frequencies being kind of messed up by that. over the next several hours or so. Right now, I've not looked to see if there was any coronal mass ejection associated with this. It's a potential, but I did not check on that. But again, solar activity continues to be quiet to kind of unsettled. I'll show you one other chart here. I've shown you the magnetogram of the sun before. This is where the whites and blacks determine whether you've got the north or south aligned magnetic flux or tension in areas. And when they're butted up against each other, that means one, a lot of times, is wanting to jump to the other. Just like when you've got the north and south end of a magnet, or the north end of one magnet, the south end of the other. Of course, they are drawn to each other, so they tend to want to jump across here. This is a semi-complex spot. It's not as complex as it was yesterday, but I'm betting that this is probably the culprit of our current C-class flare, and it has the potential for maybe even some M-class flaring. In the northern hemisphere of the sun has got quite a bit of magnetic activity going on. Could be a little activity come out of this area right now. It's not overly complex, but it could, and then we see some more stuff coming around this side here. Now this is just a look at the solar disk. This is called the continuum shot, and again we saw on the magnetogram how these seem to be very complex down here, and again they're not all that, they look a lot less impressive when you look at them this way. Again, these across the top here, this is almost a unipolar spot. It doesn't look like it's too complex either. So again, the sun is at low level activities and has the potential for a couple of large C flares, or maybe even into an M class flare, but at this time it looks like it's going to be relatively quiet. And last but not least, when we look at the solar wind parameters here, again I watch the BZ component, which is the red line here at the top. Anytime it's below this 0 or the dashed line, it means it's in a southward magnetic orientation, which means it's opposite of the magnetic orientation of the wind that's hitting the Earth. So anytime this stays below the 0, our geomagnetic activity can become disturbed, just due to the fact that it's the opposite of what the solar wind parameter is. The other thing that's important that I watch is the speed, and as you can see over the past, this is 6 hours, the solar winds have been gusty, anywhere from generally 560 kilometers per second. Looks like they're beginning to kind of wane off. We were in a coronal hole flow for a couple of days that caused that geomagnetic storm, but right now geomagnetic indices are low, and nothing is occurring to cause geomagnetic storms at this time. So anyway, there you have it for my first day back in a while, and I hope that you find this interesting, and as always, y'all take care.